First of all, I must tell you, because today is first session, you will have a couple of days before our next session, and I want to make sure that you all have devices to use for tasting, because you will be using your personal devices. So we will be tasting application on two platforms. As you understand, it will be Android platform and iOS platform. So as a rule, basically, majority of students have iOS devices. Is it true? Um, but what I must tell you that without at least general knowledge, yeah, probably. Okay, so just for example, reply a couple of students with Android. Just reply those who have Androids. Okay, so how many? Me, good. Android, oh, good, 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 good. Uh, yes, why I'm asking, guys, because there is, even if you don't have Android, I will use for demonstration, not today, because today it will be orientation session. We haven't we won't start tasting or using application. That's why you won't see application. I will use mobile as an application to so that you would see my Android on your screen. So I will be using my Android to demonstrate all the tasting techniques. So I will be using Android device. For those with iOS, it's still okay, because both applications are available. We are going to test available on both platforms. But what I must tell you guys, that from now you need just to be very clear with those two platforms. So for personal usage, yes, iOS or iPhones, iPads are probably more convenient and sexy, how we put it, right? Very nice, sleeky devices to use. But from professional standpoint, from professional point of view, you need to have at least general idea about Android environment, and because they are very different, and it's more open system, as you understand. Android operational system is more open, and there are a lot of things you're supposed to be aware, or at least know how to do with Androids. So I don't want to enforce or just insist that everybody should have Android, but at least if you have any way or any opportunity to probably borrow an Android for the course of our sessions or of our study, it would be really very beneficial for you. Because when I know that some students complain that when I next time I will demonstrate application running on Android, how to collect logs on Android system. Students are not happy if they don't have Androids, and to replicate and try to do the same. So that's why I decided to tell you just before we start. So if you do have any chance to get Android, I would suggest to have it. Ideal situation if you have both devices. It may be not necessarily Android phone, it may be a tablet, but compatibility may be an issue, and we will discuss, and we will start today with compatibility. So this is what I wanted to tell you and start with. Now let's proceed with our session number one. Before we do that, Again, because again today is orientation. So what guys happens, I have created and we will be using a bunch of different documents, you understand. I have prepared and I always use many documents, and even each session will be it's hands out for each session. So how it's gonna work, so I'm copying the link. You can see it, right? So this, oh, not yet because I didn't. Okay, so this is a link to Google Drive. And now I'm going to do the same for extra class. Okay, please click the link, and you're supposed to get to the a folder on Google Drive similar to what you can see here. But I have actually many folders, and one folder I shared with you. I have created a link for online folder, and you're supposed to see all these documents on your screen. Okay, just let me know if you manage. Okay, good. Robert have it done. Okay, got it already. Good, good. So you can see it's very simple. It's simple, easy to use, and we are going literally to be on the same page because I can change anything on fly because things may change, and sometimes yes I edit or change something during the session, and it will be reflected immediately. So we always will be on the same page, and you will be using the same documents. So there is a list of documents I already shared with you. It's not final list of documents. I will add more as we go, and you can see two sub folders for those who want to study database basics and SQL, can find all the information available under Oracle folder, and session videos will be posted as well. In addition, not in a instead of, but it will be session videos will be in addition to those posted on our Partnov website. On Partnov website, but session videos on Google Drive will be available almost within an hour after session is over, whereas it can be posted on a Partnov website, let's say next day or couple of days later. So this is initial information you need to be prepared. So I would suggest to keep this link so that you would be able to get to the drive anytime when you need to get to the documents. So this is topics of our session number 1, but I would suggest to start with homework. So you have homework as big as planned for today's session, as you can see. So your homework will include study of slideshows, and it's explicitly defined what you need to study. So if you look if you look on the documents I shared with you via Google Drive, you can see there are two slideshow, mobile testing 1 and mobile testing 2. This is so-called it's mobile technology, mobile testing technology, or mobile technology. And from my experience, technology, I can go through all the slides, but it doesn't work because you cannot digest it like dry technology or dry information. So we will be using this information, and I will refer to mobile technology whenever it's required for our testing procedure. So it will be more productive, it works much better. That's why you need to read and study only limited number of slides, and it's clearly defined what you need to read and study. So mobile testing slideshow number 1, and this is number of slides, which is about mobile types. It's what we are going to discuss right now. After that, I would suggest, in order not to spend much time during our session, online session, please get yourself better prepared for our testing by the means of dealing with your devices, because again, from my experience, I noticed that some students don't know your devices, their devices well, and use mobile smartphones only, let's say, to place a call or send SMS message. So, which is okay, but from professional standpoint, you need to know how to handle a number of accounts and how to change accounts, contacts, and so on and so on. So I have identified a couple of points you need to be aware of and make sure that you know how to handle it. This is, I would say, user functionality. Each user supposed to know how to do that. I know that teenagers are the best users, and we always kidding at school if you don't know how something how to on a mobile device. It's better to ask your teenager relatives. They know everything, including they can hack anything on your device, so be very careful. But anyway, general and basic information about your devices is a must, and particularly sometimes very simple questions may be asked during interview. So this is question, by the way, came from interview, how to transmit some information, let's say collected log or screenshot from your devices to your laptop in order to attach to a bug report if, let's say, internet connection is not available. So this is type of questions maybe you need to know how to handle. It's not very difficult, but at least you know what to expect. Next, you're supposed to download and install the application of our study. So this is first application of our study, and this application is Event Easy Go. Event Easy Go. You need to search this application and download and install, either from it's from Marketplace, and Marketplace implies either App Store for iOS, as you know, and Google Play for Android devices. You need to download and install application. After that, you need to study this application. Guys, for the first 2 years, you won't be able to test thoroughly, I would say, or professionally test application, particularly mobile application, if you don't know exactly application functionality. But good news is that in a couple of years, you will be able to do it in your sleep, and because you will discover that many applications are built the same way and they have the same type of issues, so it will be much easier. But for start, you need to know application functionality, and we will discuss this issue, which is very important. And And first type of testing, it's so-called compatibility testing. Compatibility testing is the first testing technique you would come across or dealing with mobile application, because if you for some reason download or installation of your application failed, this is indication that application is not compatible with your mobile device. Once again, because sometimes you put words, students can change the word order. Application is not compatible with a device environment or just device. Not the device is not compatible with application, but application is not compatible with mobile device or mobile environment. So uh, first, usually how we run this compatibility testing and using physical devices, because there are two types of devices, and we will start with physical devices, as devices you have physically in your handset right now, I believe. But we will be also using virtual devices. Virtual devices, and particularly for compatibility testing, is very hot topic and widely used, but not for all the application. And now application is not very good with actually it has a problem to run on virtual devices, but nevertheless we will study virtual devices later on. And don't forget that virtual devices, it's already gray box testing. You can see that this is on our list and of project overview. And this is another new native mobile application testing in addition to Event Easy Go. It will be the last point when we finish Event Easy Go. So this is your homework. If you click this link, you're supposed to see this document, which is compatibility matrix. You can open it right now, and you can see that how to work with this document. So you can see that there are multiple applications we tested already, and I have created brand new spreadsheet for event May 10. This is your class, guys. Please open this page. By the way, we are going to use a Google Drive as document management and sharing system. When you start your job, they will in the company. Each company has different document management and sharing systems. So you're supposed to be familiar at least with one of them. And honestly, I really I'm a fan of Google applications. And I think that Google Drive is really a very good example of document management and sharing system. So each of you has access to this document, and you can create, let's say, what you're supposed to do. You need to provide, you can see examples, let's say Event Easy Go for another class. So you need to provide your device, operational system version, and you need to put whether it's pass or fail. It's fail. If it's fail, it's red. So all this failure means that this application, this device application is not compatible with this device and this operational system. It's not compatible with this. This is actually tablets, guys, tablets, in this operational system. But it was old. This is old information. So after that, developers fixed a lot of issues, and now for your devices and compatibility matrix for your devices might be different. So you need to provide information on your device, your operational system, and indicate, put green if it's pass, if and red if it's fail, or just write it, whatever is available. So you understand how it works. So you're supposed to be able to update this document. That's why I provide you additional link. This is to Google Drive, and this link allows you to edit this document. All other documents view only for you. All right. So I explain you to your homework, and you have a lot of work, guys. In general, you're supposed to do a lot of homework to succeed and really gain experience testing mobile application, because it takes time, it takes efforts to follow all the information and your assignments. You will be working on your testing assignments. So now we're going to start. Now we finally arrived to the point when we can start our session today. And I want to start with probably somewhat not very, not the typical, not directly related to mobile application, but I know that students sometimes get lost because you gain a lot of different information. You know you're capable to do real testing, guys. I know that because I am actually I teach in last in the your online course, so I know that you gain a lot of experience. But the problem is that sometimes you get lost. You got a lot of information, but not very clear what is what, and you start asking questions and difference between different things. That's why I want to put some order and present you so-called big picture. If you understand the bigger picture of quality assurance and testing process and all different type of terminology, it will help dramatically, because it will you will couple your real experience and knowledge with understanding of big picture of our profession. So just let me ask very simple question. Tell me, please, it's exactly interview question, or sometimes even students ask each other. So what is a QA, and what is a testing QA process? What is a testing process, and what is the difference? So let me see how and if you don't mind, just at least a couple of you reply with your understanding, what is the QA process? What is a QA? How do you understand QA? Okay, testing error detection. Yes, very good. Okay, good. So, but tell me, please, in general, what is a just QA? How do you understand? What is a QA? What is a testing? Yes, good. Verification and validation. Good. Quality assurance is a customer satisfaction standard. Okay. All right. you see already different opinions, which is good, by the way. It's very good. We are all different. And by the way, different answers, it doesn't mean that some answers are QA is testing process. Absolutely. This is what I wanted to see, guys. And what I mean, in order to keep it really clear, big picture clear, I shared with you a couple of slideshows, which is very simple, but it would help you very clear understand what is what, and it will simplify a lot of issues and questions with what is what and what is the difference, because basically this is what may be confusing later on during your interview session. So software quality assurance is a process. You need to remember that. That's simple. QA is a process, and what is interesting, software testing is a process as well. So you can see here two different processes, but process consists of different activities. So QA process consists of these activities, and testing process consists of another activities or steps. So this is the difference, and this is relations. Moreover, testing process is a sub process of QA process, right? Because this is exactly one of the activities of SQA. So if your position is, let's say, quality assurance engineer, you're supposed to have some more knowledge, not only on testing, software testing, but in addition to that, probably some general idea about product concept, design, implementation, and so on. So this is very simple idea, but I would suggest you to, it will simplify and help you a lot later on. So this is how it works. And this is additional related slide, which indicates or depicts, in addition to different stages of two different process documents, business requirements. We are all talking about business requirements. Business requirements is a result or created when product concept is actually clear and depicted or collected and created as a business requirements, or sometimes it's not a PRD, it's product requirement document, or M stands marketing requirement document. Very generic, by the way, very generic. And don't forget that use case, sometimes it's a very important question. What is a use case? Use case is a format of business requirements as well. And have you noticed that all these business requirements and use cases I depicted as a black with black background, because these documents required for black box testing. But if functional specification or technical specification available, guys, even if you do black box testing, it's very helpful to understand, or at least trying to understand how to use functional specification, usually used for gray box testing, and technical specification for white box testing. For testing processes, you can see that we actually may create or may not create different type of documents as well. Test plan is more, I would say, classical type of documents. but not being used for mobile applications and for within agile software development life cycle. Um, test cases are very popular. Traceability matrix, not for mobile applications though, but still you understand that before we conduct test execution, test case is supposed to be somehow already created, and this is so-called test development stage when we haven't actually started execution. We need just to prepare, develop testing documents for execution. It's exactly what we are going to do, by the way. You will get test cases, and your assignment will be to execute these test cases. And bug reports is well-known documents as a result of your execution. So this is how it looks. You can see that these two slides depict both QA and testing processes in a structured, simple way, and it will help you to understand what is what. There is another testing environments, and it depicts client-server architecture. It's not topic of our session today. That's why just focus on two first slides to better understand and remember the difference between quality assurance and testing processes. Now let me talk about finally application types. Yes, application types is another presentation I am going to take you on. And this is, let me see, application types. Again, I give you very simple, very concise way of getting familiar and look very professional, dealing with different aspects and different views of quality assurance or testing, because it's very important. When you start your interview, you're supposed to be well prepared for different type of questions. So yes, it's true that we are planning to test mobile applications, and moreover, you have already experienced testing web applications. Now let's see what other type of application you probably may find yourself testing, and how to define application, and what is the difference. Let's say the favorite or very popular question, interview question, what is the difference between web application and mobile application. That's why in order to answer this question, we need to start with web application, but you have already experience and it won't be difficult for you. So web application, as any other type of application, supposed to be defined from two perspectives, so-called two-dimensional. First dimension is technology, right? Technology. So web application from technology standpoint, we need to define. And you, well, I believe that you really know what is a web application. So what is the major components of web application technology-wise? Can you just give me example? So once again, question, how would you define what is a web application from browser? Absolutely. This is the first component of a web application. Okay, and second, technology-wise, browser and in, no, no. User experience, it's type of testing running on, okay, Server, client server architecture. Okay, server. No, server is it's a component of client server architecture, with not necessarily, by the way, a web application. We are going to test a client server mobile application, by the way. HTML, it's browser related, because each browser is software which understand HTML. Okay, interface field protocol. Okay, hardware. Once again, web application. When we run web application, when you start web application, what? Oh yes, internet. This is what I wanted to see. So for web application, from technology standpoint, you need to very to be very clear right away. So the major components or pieces, so something what web application is not thinkable of is that it's browser and internet. Yes, theoretically you can create web application with all resources like local on your computer. In this case, actually you don't need internet, but with this particular case, we don't consider this special type, special case. For general web application, browser is a must, and because browser it's the only software, right, which understand HTML language, which is good, and internet and browser and internet. Web application structure. Yes, web application structure. Usually, it's what I already mentioned, and we will work on client server web application structure later on. And you will see that client server architecture is being used for both web application and mobile application. So we are done with technology dimension, I would say, of web application. So from application domain standpoint, you know, there is a variety of different type of application. The most hot nowadays is so-called social media. So I don't want to spend time. You can go through this very fast and easy, and you know example of social media behemoths such as Yahoo, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Twitter, and so on. But it's a group of application e-commerce. Again, a lot of, you know, all the application. You're supposed to be aware of ERP type of application, and ERP application, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, guys. Enterprise Resource Planning, and there is it's set of applications all corporations basically using. And nowadays we have different implementations or different type of applications to serve this purpose. So enterprise resource planning includes different business activities or business objectives, such as customer, let's say, management, order management, for the financials, manufacturing. So, and this all components, HR, by the way, HR, it's of enterprise resource planning. This even now, in the past, it was the biggest, I would say, biggest industry, IT industry. Now it's not maybe that hot, but still it's a lot of jobs available to deal to work on ERP application. And as I mentioned, ERP maybe it's informational domain, but implementation may be web implementation. It may be already we have examples of both web and mobile. And something new I'm going to talk about is so-called SaaS, software as a service, different type of implementation, and you need at least get general idea about this type of application, because you never know, probably you will be will be candidate to work on such application. So ERP, you need to know about ERP. And another point that many ERP and other type of application actually include the same web application components. And in general, guys, my original experience, I came from development, and I worked a lot of in design. Actually, my specialty is database related applications. So, and I must tell you that all application implementation, it's a process of integration of different components, because all implementation is being done by components. So components are being designed first, and after that implemented. In other words, it's coded, and after that these components are supposed to be integrated. And components actually is as you understand, since it's reusable, another idea of using components that we can use the same component for different type of application. For example, you know that if you use different type of applications, you will have email components, chat, forum, you name all of them, search, sharing. It's all application features, user application features everybody is aware of. And if you know how to test one a component of one application, let's say chat or forum of one web application, it would mean that you would know how to test all forum components of other applications, which is a good thing. By the way, one of the components we are going to deal all the time, and probably you already discussed this, so-called OpenID interface. OpenID interface, it's a way how we login, or how we create account with application, and OpenID interface components implementation exist for web applications and for mobile application as well. So this is what you may want to know about application domain of web application. A couple of examples, including ERP and a different couple of components of web application. Next type of application I already mentioned, SaaS. It stands for software as a service. So what it means, it's exactly confirmation of my previous statement that ERP application can have different type of implementation. Instead of, it's still web enabled application, but architecture is different, because in this web application everything is located and honored by the company. And this company is supposed to own all the hardware, software, licenses, and so on, and a huge IT department. SaaS, it's software as a service. It's for small businesses. It's really very, very productive and modern way of using software without any and environments without IT hassles. So it's done over internet. So let's say Element tool, it's this application, it's backtracking system, and at the same time it's SaaS. So you're using remote implementation of application as a users, and you pay for services, but you don't need to purchase any hardware, software, licenses. You pay not for this tangible tangible high-tech or IT items. You're paying for services. Our school, let's say, uses application to run our school business, and this type of application is SaaS. So we don't own anything. We're just using all the resources and application remotely. Can you imagine we have not web applications? In the past, it was 100% non-web applications. For example, yes, good example, you need to know, remember, games and Microsoft Office into it. But guys, nowadays, even if you purchase Microsoft Office, it's standalone application. You install it on your computer, right? And you use Microsoft Office, but whenever you need, let's say, to apply the key, or even you need some help, you notice that this standalone application goes online and connects you to Microsoft site. It means that it's not completely web free. The same about games. It used to be standalone software or program which has nothing to do with internet, or just running on your desktop. But nowadays, it's internet is involved, because it's more modern type of games. You can game with your friends over internet, but still I keep it as non-web application, because there are still applications, standalone application exist, and particularly a different type of application, so-called firmware. This is, guys, for those who have engineering degree, let's say in electronics, mechanical engineering, and so on. Technology applications, for your information. So finally we arrived to mobile applications. Mobile application, this is what we need to know about mobile applications. So let's start with technology, as we usually do. So how we can define technology dimension of mobile application. So first of all, mobile application exists of three types. There are three types of mobile application. Native mobile application, this is type number one. Mobile web application, not much different, guys, from just web application. The only difference is that mobile web application uses HTML5 standard of browser. And since it's web application, the same technology is being used or implies to be used, meaning it's HTML or browser enabled HTML. So it's browser and internet. For native mobile application, browser is not needed. And you will see definition of native mobile application, and it's what we are actually going to deal with. We are going to test native mobile applications. And as a result of, since this classification came up many years ago. And by the way, mobile technology is still evolving. It's still evolving, guys. It's sometimes difficult to catch up, and it's very easy to be out kind of to use stale or out of date information because it changes all the time. And I'll give you a couple of examples of this later on as we go. So, but nevertheless, still there are three types are being maintained and known for mobile application. Once again, native mobile application, I would say that it's a prime type of mobile application. Mobile web application, which is more like as just web application, and hybrid. It's a combinations of both. So I want to talk about native mobile application. By the way, your homework includes, it's what I already discussed, includes slideshow study starting with mobile applications, and this is exactly the most important slide to work with types of mobile applications. Guys, you can see here native application, web application, and two types of hybrid. Since it's a single screenshot, I cannot remove one of the hybrids. Don't be very picky trying to spend much time to figure out the difference between different type of hybrid presented on this slide. I would suggest you just to keep it simple and refer to hybrid regardless of hybrid implementation. So you have native, you have a web and hybrid when, let's say, application has a native shell, and you will better understand what is native means or stands for here for. And inside of this native shell or native code written in particular language, there may be even HTML code, which is part of your component indication of mobile web application, just web application. This is how it works. So it's shell. So outside it looks like native, but inside it may be like web UI. For example, you understand that user interface of web application looks quite different from, let's say, UI for mobile application, native mobile application, but it's still the same purpose of UI, but they look different. And by the way, this is again another question. They would show you a mobile application, and they would ask you to say, or to ask you, is it native or how would you define this application? So it's, if you see browser, first of all, it's web, but sometimes you would not see browser and you would see that it looks like native, but you still need to look at UI elements, and there is some difference between, let's say, UI elements implemented using HTML and UI elements implemented as a native, using native programming language. So once again, what you need to remember that there are three types of application: native, mobile, and hybrid, and examples of both. For native, there is no problem because two applications you're going to work or deal with will be native application, web application, mobile web applications, plenty of them. Hybrid sometimes difficult to identify. That's why I provide you this with an example of native, mobile, and what is the most important, hybrid. Where is hybrid? Okay, it should be, there will be hybrids, yes, hybrid and examples of hybrid. So please study this slideshow on your own to be better prepared in general and to make sure that you can convey and talk about during interview. So let's go next. So this is types of mobile application. Now let me define you very important part of definition of native application. So as we discussed, there are three types. Now the major question would be, what is the difference between native and mobile web application? So let's talk about native mobile application. So first of all, native mobile application, attention please, are supposed to be downloaded and installed. So you understand that application we are going to test. By the way, your homework is to download and install. It means that it's native mobile application. Only native mobile application requires download and installation. By the way, when you purchase your smartphone, you already have a bunch of so-called standard applications. In the first example, or major, I would say, application you would think about is which one? Yes, sure. Phone application and messaging application. By the way, all these applications, standard application, are pre-installed, and these applications are native applications, and these native applications cannot be uninstalled. While other application which you can download and install, you can later on uninstall them. So native applications are installable. So in a way, it looks like it's similar to so-called non-web application. Applications require it's standalone application. When we install it, we don't download it from marketplace, but at least we install it on our desktops. A native application is supposed to be downloaded and installed. And another definition, or not another, probably major definition of native mobile application states that it's specifically designed and implemented to run on devices environments, mobile environments, and they implementation depends on, as you understand, on platforms, and we are going to deal with two platforms. There are more platforms available, for example, Windows phones, but we are talking about we will be dealing only with two platforms, Android and iOS. So this is information for native languages, which is used for to create these native mobile applications. So for iOS system, it's Swift based. It's Swift. It's a new naming for Objective-C application language, and this environment. So this is Swift-based Swift-based integration environment, integration development environment. Make sure that you know this IDE abbreviation. It stands for Integrated Development Environment. So for OS system and iOS system. So this is integrated development environment is being used to create native mobile application for iOS platform. And Android Studio, in other words, Java-based integrated development environment for Android platform. And this is for Windows. So this information makes sense to remember. And we're going, by the way, I'll show you how to work with our, Android Studio to create, let's say, Android virtual device. And I have instruction how to install Android Studio, let's say, even on Macintosh, for those who have Macintosh. So once again, make sure that you can present your understanding, because I dislike any memorization of any definition, because you need to understand and you need to present meaning of particular term using your own words and your understanding. And don't forget that tasting is not a science, guys. It's not a science. It's a set of rules and techniques. That's why there are no the same definition should be used. And it's better to present your understanding than memorization. So your homework and your first objective is to clearly understand the difference between native mobile application and how to handle and how to install this application, uninstall if needed, and so on. So this is a topic, this is part of your homework. All this definition about or explanation, additional definition of native mobile application can be found within slideshow. You have only 20 slides, even less than 20 slides to go through and to read about mobile application types. And hybrid is very important in terms of examples. The best example, by the way, for hybrid is I just a little bit familiar with this. Netflix. Netflix has unique software which is embedded into native application. So it's, by the way, it's patent. It's their own part of software, and it's embedded, and so there is a shell of native programming language which invokes or calls this part of streaming developed by the Netflix. So Netflix is a very good example of hybrid mobile application. I'm pretty much done with today's topic. So you can, I would suggest to read this application types at least once. You don't need to spend much time. If you have any questions, you can Google it, but at least it will give you better flexibility, I would say, to discuss different aspects of different type of applications, and including probably a comparison analysis between different type of applications. So this is just for your information. We will continue this two slides again, just would help you to be more structured and more concise and better understanding processes, different type of processes, and we will continue with other slides next time. Let me see if, yes, actually I am done. And number 5. So event easy go native application. You're supposed to download this application, install and study. Install and study. Application overview, very simple. It's event organizer and a very unique feature, ride sharing. Guys, this application requires multiple people to test. So probably you need to team up, and it would be best team would include 2-3 people. So just team up accordingly. We will continue next time. We will be more specific to event easy go testing, and we will start our first assignment probably, and we will study how to collect. We will talk about crashes and how to collect logs required for crashes. So this will be more specific to mobile native mobile application testing. So I am done for today.